Hello, welcome to our live panel discussion this afternoon here in Glasgow, but it may be a different time wherever you're joining us from. We're absolutely delighted that you've made some time to listen to our discussion this afternoon. We'll do some introductions in a moment, but Lynn and myself, who are involved in the delivery of both the Masters in Creative Industries and Cultural Policy and the Masters in Media Management here within the School of Culture and Creative Arts. I'm really delighted that we've been able to bring together some students from our programs who have much more, I suppose, pertinent information for you about what your experiences might be joining us in September. We're really looking forward to welcoming you, and we want to make this session as useful as possible when you're thinking through choices that you might make, things that you can plan and prepare for when you join us. And we want to be open and answer all of your questions. In terms of some housekeeping, you'll be able to ask questions of us in the chat, and we will be keeping an eye on that. And really feel free to kind of ask anything you like. There's no stupid questions. I'm sure whatever you ask, someone else will have been thinking and wondering about some of the same things. To get us started, we're going to also just have a bit of a discussion about some things that we think that you might be interested in finding out about before opening the floor to questions. We'll start with some introductions. As I'm speaking, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Dr. Katherine Champion. I'm convener of the Masters in Creative Industries and Cultural Policy, so based here in the School of Culture and Creative Arts. My particular background is as a sort of interdisciplinary scholar of culture and creative industries. I have particular interests around the relationship between place and the creative sector, creativity beyond traditional kind of policy focuses around cities, so looking at kind of rural creativity as well. I'm particularly interested in the screen sector as well. So a number of different interests which very closely intersect with the programme here. I'll hand over to my colleague Lynn, who will introduce herself and her role.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn Whitaker, and I'm involved with many aspects of the teaching on media management programme. Specifically, I'm involved with the research methods teaching, and I'm the dissertation convener. And you'll find that that research methods training is what takes you right through to that independent unit of work, which tends to be the thing that really excites students, and that's where I come in as dissertation convener. So I'll hand you over now to Srimoyi, one of our students. You're muted, Srimoyi.
Hi, my name is Srimoyi Banerjee. I'm a student of media management. I'm from India, and I'm here for my master's. I chose this course because it perfectly blends the aspect of business and creative industries, and I'm really enjoying myself here. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Next on my screen is Mark. If you're able to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark. I'm from Indonesia. I'm ongoing master's student of Creative Industries and Cultural Policy, and currently doing my dissertation research in Ambon City, my hometown in eastern part of Indonesia. So I'm like 8 hours ahead and 1,000 miles away. Thank you.
Amazing. We're extra appreciative for you joining us as well. And Ankur?
Hello, everyone. My name is Akbayar. I am from Mongolia. I'm a master's student in media management. So I'm still enjoying Glasgow City, working on my dissertation.
Fantastic. And last but by no means least, Maria, could you introduce yourself as well, please?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Maria. I'm from Cyprus, but I've been living in Glasgow for quite a few years now. And I also study creative industries and cultural policy. And I also come from kind of like a more interdisciplinary background of writing and music. So, yeah.
Fantastic. We're so grateful to have such a blend of different kind of experiences and national contexts represented on the panel today. So I think for our kind of first area of reflection, I was going to turn to Lynn to ask about this.
Yes, because at the moment, all our students are in their dissertation phase. So I'm going to ask them to think back to maybe this time last year when they've had their offers. Like our audience, they're sitting with their offers in their hand, and really what made them choose to come to Glasgow? Why did you choose the programme, the specific programme that you chose? And then also thinking then about your first 2 semesters, which are the taught elements of the programme, and really what was the highlight of your study experience, and just tell us a little bit about your specialisms and kind of what you've brought to each of those courses. So I'm going to start with Srimoy, please, if you want to offer some reflections.
So yes, last year, this time was very exciting because I had the offer in hand and I was very excited to come and join the course. And obviously one of the first and foremost attractions towards the course was the subjects taught. It varies from everything from media and economics to business management courses such as marketing and strategic change to creative policies. So the variety of the subjects taught and its relevance in media today is what attracted me the most. And second of all, it's the university and its beautiful architecture. I mean, whenever I saw the pictures on the prospectus, it was beautiful. It felt like I'm coming to the land of Harry Potter. So it was, I mean, I was so proud and happy that I can be here and just experience the beauty of the space. And also because I come from a professional experience of working in the media for about 6 years, this felt like the perfect opportunity to make it into a more international, give it an international scope by learning the media and policies and management structures within the larger international market. So this is one of the reasons why I came here, and I'm really glad I did.
That's lovely. And I think we'll turn now to Maria, because we're getting a sense perhaps of the differentiation between the media management and the creative industries and cultural policy programme. So Maria, do you want to reflect on your experience of your programme, CICP?
Yeah, of course. So I think when I was kind of applying for a master last year, it was a bit of a tricky thing to navigate because, as I said, I'm coming from a background of being more of an artist and a cultural practitioner, but I wanted something that would give me the tools and the entry into the industry in a more sort of like market perspective, and also that would make me more employable. So I think when I found this master's was kind of like a perfect blend of that, because not only we get to study different sort of like industries in different countries and contexts, but we do that with a very holistic and interdisciplinary like lens. So we'll study the economy part, the context, the culture part of the specific case study or country that we're looking at, and sometimes even kind of going into more niche parts of the creative economy that you wouldn't really come across casually. So yeah, I think that was like definitely the number one reason why I settled with this course, which is not really easy to find a similar course to this one in other universities in the UK, at least that I've looked at. And obviously, like a further motivation for me was the fact that I just wanted to stay in Glasgow because it's a lovely city to be in. There's a great sense of community, and the cultural scene is like so vibrant. Yeah.
Thank you, Maria. And Anka, I know that you chose your course very strategically to align also with your kind of your own background in media and also a kind of trajectory going forward. So would you like to reflect on what the programme has offered you specifically and maybe what you've kind of used it to specialise in?
Well, thank you. A year ago, I had an offer, and I chose my program, media management, early on. And in order to decide, University of Glasgow is among top 100 universities in the world. Also, my area that I chose was among the top 50. So it was one of the big factors. Also, media management program is a comprehensive program. It's not MBA, but it includes management courses from Adam Smith Business School of Business, and also the courses media economics, cultural policy were so useful to me as a professional. So yeah, as my colleagues said, Glasgow is a very vibrant city. So I'm so lucky that I chose University of Glasgow here in this beautiful city. Yeah. So at the end of my course, I'm so satisfied with the results because teachers and staff are so experienced, and it widened my horizon.
Thank you, Anka. And Mark, I'm going to ask the same question to you because I know you come also from a kind of particular background and have a particular trajectory that you're developing through your masters.
Yep. Thank you, Lynn. Well, I would start with why Glasgow. So, Ambon City, my city, and Glasgow is are in the same UNESCO Creative Cities Network as a city of music. My city was designated in 2019, while Glasgow in 2008. So, I think I chose the best place to learn. And actually, I have a list of several university for creative industries, but Glasgow provide the most relevant with my field of work because the program talks about policy in particular, which is very related to what we always discuss in annual meeting of UNESCO Creative Cities uh, meeting annual every years because yeah, most of the topic it's about the policy models, the implementations. I've visited so many cities under UNESCO Creative Cities Network, and being in Glasgow makes me more closer to the practical things like creative community, the policy, the strategy, which are provided in the module and curriculum of CICP program. I think that's all. In.
Fabulous. Catherine, are you going to
Thanks
dig in?
so much, Mark. So I think in a way, some of what I was going to ask about, you've really started to talk about within your responses to the first part, but I really wanted to dig into your experiences of coming to Glasgow or continuing to be in Glasgow in Maria's case, and I suppose in moving to Glasgow, things that maybe surprised you about the city, or things that you particularly enjoy, maybe some top tips for students who will be moving to the city in September. So maybe, Mark, if I can just turn straight back to you, because you were kind of talking in detail about that there, and then I'll go around the group.
Well, my experience as an Indonesian student, we have like a pre-departure activity that prepare us before we arrive in Glasgow. So start from finding accommodation, tips of living in Glasgow, and our union activity as well. One thing for sure, we have to be prepared for the moody weather of Glasgow, and it shocks me a lot because me as a person who came from tropical weather, so yeah, changing weather it's quite shocking. The transportations are good, buses, trains, subway, free offer bike for 30 minutes, it's nice to try as well. So, but Glasgow as a compact city is very walkable. I spend most of my time walking around the city, and
with an umbrella. With an umbrella.
with, and what I love the most is the free museums to visit. It's a very good place to kill the time, and then don't forget to keep the eye on the event in Ovo Hydro. I went to several big concerts like Keen and also Sum 41 there. And my advice for new students, be ready to reading and writing, because you will find a lot of it in the program. And there's no exam but essays. So but if you're struggling with it, there's a student learning development that can help and assist to consult everything's that you struggle with. So no worry.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mark. And I think that's something that we really do encourage students to do. There's lots of support sort of within the school itself, but then in the wider university as well. Certainly, student development services are excellent, and I'm sure, particularly in the current times that you are all doing your dissertations, there's a wealth of support with that process as well, both locally and more broadly within the university. But it was great to hear about your experiences of Glasgow as well. And certainly those of us who are in Glasgow can attest today. We've had a really sunny start, and then there's been some real biblical downpours of rain as well. So it's a mixed bag in the summer. I was wondering if I could turn to Ankur next, perhaps just to talk about your experiences of moving to Glasgow. And you mentioned a little bit before about how welcoming you found the city, but it'd be great to hear a little more of that.
Yeah, in my case, I live near the Botanic Gardens. So Glasgow is actually famous for its green space. As Mark said, it's very walkable. And back in my country, because of work stress, I was kind of stressed. And after living here for 9 months, actually, I became healthier. You know, I walked more and less stress. And I take walk in the morning or in the evening. And if you take proper breaks, you will be more productive. So I saw studying as like a full-time job. Just during the office hours, I will study. In the other times, I will be enjoying walking around the green spaces and having some nice coffee. And yeah, I'm trying to make most out of Glasgow city. Also, Glasgow has a wonderful subway. It will take just 8 minutes from the university station to the city center. It's incredible, and even Edinburgh doesn't have that kind of subway, and Glasgow has everything.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And what a great position to be in, living next to the Botanic Gardens as well. And the Botanical Gardens are just on the doorstep of the university here. And we have had a period before this recent bad weather. We've had a period of really lovely weather. So it's been incredibly nice to be out in the gardens as well. So it's great to hear that, Ankur. And certainly we're very keen to encourage students to find that balance within their studies as well of, you know, you can only be productive when you are taking those breaks and enjoying the city and taking a rest as well. I can see some questions starting to happen in the chat, but I'll just quickly ask Maria and Srimoy about their experiences of moving to Glasgow first. So Maria, do you want to jump in next?
Yeah, so as I said, like I've been in Glasgow for a few years now, maybe 6. Just because I actually initially moved here as well to do my undergrad at Glasgow Uni. And what I have to say is that initially you expect that kind of cultural shock, and the weather is also a shock if you come from a warm country. But what you will find is that most people are extremely welcoming. There is a crowd and a space for you, even if it takes a little while to find it. And yeah, my advice for the weather is like, don't let it stop you from doing things, because then you will never do anything. And as for like the cultural scene, like I would say there's pretty much always something happening. I can't really think of like a time in the year where there's not something happening. There's things that are happening like annually, and then kind of like smaller things that are sprouting throughout the year. And chances are that every month there will be things to go to, and even for free a lot of the times. So whatever your interest is on that front, I'm sure you will find events and stuff to attend in relation to that. And yeah, was there something else as part of the question? I forget.
No, that's absolutely perfect,
Yeah.
Maria. I think that was a really
Okay.
good introduction, and it's great to get those different perspectives as well. As someone who's been in the city for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Shrimoy, do you want to add your experiences of moving to Glasgow?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think initially in the first days, I was just roaming around the campus because it's huge and it's spread out almost everywhere in the city. And the architecture is beautiful, and it does almost feel like surreal at times that I get to study in a building that looks like straight out of a fairy tale. So, and I also would like to say that there are so many places to visit around Glasgow, which are free for students and just a train ride or a subway ride away. So it's, and the city center is a beautiful place, and there's always music and people performing over there. So if you just want to see like I come from a very overcrowded country, like India is very crowded. So sometimes if I feel like, oh, I'm not seeing enough people outside of my class, I'll just go to the city center, and there are people just playing music, and just there's so much happening. So yeah, it's a great city to be. And the weather, yes, it does put you off sometime, but if you just can brave it and go out with an umbrella, and it's great. And I think every other service, like the transport, the healthcare, everything is very helpful, and it's very easy to reach. And and the university supports a lot of gives a lot of support through its health and well-being centers and the libraries and everything. So it's if you find anything which is difficult to access, if you reach out to the university, they will help you a lot. So yeah, I've been really grateful for that experience. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It was really great to hear those different perspectives.
Well, we're seeing a number of questions coming in that want to kind of know the link between the master's program and the kind of skills development and maybe onward career destinations or links and networks that you might be making, or the what we call graduate attributes that you're developing through the program, and how that relates really to your onward career trajectory or what you envisage. Many of our graduates go on to work in creative industries, media production, for example, and obviously with that kind of very international media landscape that we have, there are lots of career opportunities. Also, certainly from the media management program, many of our students go on back to their home nation, and they often work within government bodies or similar kind of creative industries bodies on whether it's policy development or aspects of regulation, dare we say it, such a growth area, obviously with our drive towards digital media and policy and regulation within that. So I wanted to give an opportunity to kind of hint towards those questions. We'll take some specific questions at the end, but I wanted to give each of our students a little chance to talk about the way in which they see their onward progression and how the skills they've developed might relate to that. And it's probably a good time to ask this because each of our students is working on their own dissertation, which is an individual autonomous piece of research that is completely designed from scratch by the student themselves. So it's an opportunity for you to also talk a little bit about that. I think, Shrimoy, we will let you go first this time.
So yeah, I think I did choose my dissertation topic quite early in the first semester when I started with my research methods course. And Lynn, obviously, you helped me narrow it down and guided me through that process. And so yes, and I think right now that I'm in my dissertation phase and also in my job search phase, I can see that how my media management course is directly contributing to like the more varied roles that I can apply for. And I can look, I'm eligible for roles which are within policy, like you said, regulation, government roles within my own country, even UK. So it does widen your scope of job for when you are out on the job hunting field. So yes, I'm there are so many, because it also teaches you my course media management, it also gives you teaches you about marketing and strategic change and other management disciplines as well. It does widen your horizon and your scope for employment within the industry, which is associated with the creative field. And also throughout my this 1 year and 9 months that I've been here, there have been so many career fairs. There's been special career fair for the creative industries or organized by the university, where you get to network and meet people and within the country who are hiring. There are internship offers. The university has a careers page which keeps on updating with the job offers starting from part-time to full-time jobs. So if you keep an eye out on the student job portal, there are so many opportunities that you can apply to. Yes. And also there's a careers peer support group which does help you review your CV and stuff. So that is very helpful. That has been very helpful for me, at least. Yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit, just in a sentence, what your dissertation topic is?
Oh yeah. So my dissertation topic is about how advertising video on demand platforms within the developing economy like India operate, and hopefully go into the direction of what can be their scope of development in the future, given the economic restrictions of a developing country. So it is mostly about how AVOD platforms, advertising video on demand platforms, operate, while looking at a case study of Amazon. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Mark, would you like to tell us a little bit about, could be your dissertation topic or just your onward career plans and opportunities, how you can relate your master's training to that arc that you're on that trajectory?
Well, thank you, Lynn. Before that, I just want to double up what Srimoy explained about dissertation and topic, what we chose in develop our dissertations. Don't be worried, because the way the curriculum shapes our topic, it's I would say it's very good, because by the research method we learn in the first term and the second term, it would be easy to us to complete our dissertation phase. It's very helpful. My previous degree is civil engineer, and I'm dealing with formula, numbers, constructions, and so writing it's a new world for me. But then, by how the program designed the curriculum, it's very helpful to develop our dissertation phase. And speaking of my dissertation topic, since we're speaking about policy in the program, CICP. It's particularly talk about policy. My dissertation topic is defining the global policy into a local policy. So in UNESCO, there's a Mundial Declaration that we talk about culture and how we can do in the local level. So I try to make models of policy development that can be replicate in another city, because there's a project called Sound of Green, and then we just develop a music forest in my city, a city of music of Ambon, and then after have several chat and discussion with Professor Mark, we just realized that these are very new things in creative city. So I think this program shapes a lot how I define the global policy into a local policy. That is part of my dissertation. Pretty much it is, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And Anka, I'll turn to you now to find out about that idea of how the master's programme is intersecting with your graduate skills development and possible career path onwards.
Thank you, Lynn. And my dissertation topic is about Mongolian news websites and their business model, and the possible ways to decrease their reliance on advertisement. So it's kind of a revenue diversification, which is very practical, which is very needed in my country. So thanks to this program, I found out many aspects of these media-related issues, paid model and other stuff. So actually, I want to highlight that our university library offers very good selection of free articles and books, and I found very good 3 books, and I'm going to read it this summer besides my dissertation work. In terms of career opportunities, the university offers so much, media, you can apply for media intern and many other jobs. And if you search here and if you see ICP and media management, if you complete this program, I realized that there are so many job opportunities if you look for. And I saw so many graduates who works for BBC and other big media companies here in the UK. So absolutely, it will increase your chance to have a proper job in the UK or in your country. In my case, I will go back to my country to continue to work in the media. Yeah.
Thank you, Anka. And Maria, are you going to tell us a little bit about your dissertation topic and how, because you've obviously in some ways made a kind of strategic change or a leap from being a practitioner to being more involved in perhaps policy side?
Yeah, so I think the unique thing about this course is that it lets you do the thing that a lot of people who work in culture want to do, which is to do a little bit of everything and get an insight into a little bit of everything. So that, for starters, is a really good structure in like giving you ideas and entry paths, because the course is shaped to examine different creative industries, for example, film or craft or whatever. And then most of the times we would also get like a guest speaker or someone who works in that industry in Glasgow to come and talk to us more about it in practical terms. And that helps you network as well. Like you'll meet many people that you can then go on and make contact with if you really wish to. And also you can, don't let the sort of like internship opportunities slip away, because they come every day and there are a lot. And then as for my dissertation, so I'm examining sort of like local initiatives and ways that people in Cyprus render culture and cultural identity sustainable, where policy fails to do that. So it's more to do also with the politics of having sort of like more multicultural identity, and sort of like examining how people navigate that through their own cultural practices on a community level. And I think as for dissertation topics, pretty much anything goes as long as it fulfills the ethics and is doable within the time frame. I don't see why anyone wouldn't approve your dissertation topic.
I think we'll use that idea to kind of go into take in some of our questions. Mark had touched on that he came from a civil engineering background, which was really quite a surprise to me. So with that, Selena has asked if students could please share what their undergraduate degrees are in. So Maria, I'll just stay with you just now, and if you could tell us what your undergraduate degree was in.
Yeah, so my undergrad was in comparative literature and music, so it was a joint honours degree.
And was that here at Glasgow?
Yeah, it was at Glasgow Uni.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which was
Thank
lovely
you.
as well.
Srimoy.
My undergraduate degree was in mass communication and videography back in India. So yeah, it did help me transition because I was already studying creative and media and filmmaking. It was very helpful for me to transition, but I believe there are people from very different backgrounds in my course as well who've transitioned to media management. So I think it's open.
So your undergraduate degree had a practical element within it?
Yeah. So yeah, I did learn film editing, sound design, cinematography, journalism, photography, script writing, and a bit of women's studies and everything. So it was a very diverse course, but related to media.
Okay, good. Thank you, Anka.
Actually, my undergraduate degree was not related to media. My bachelor degree is in education, specifically teaching English and Russian. But somehow I managed to work as a translator, started working as a translator at the television. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I didn't know that.
It's such an interesting range of backgrounds and different experiences. And I think that's one of the real benefits of our programs as well, that we do see students coming from a real range of different backgrounds. And then you can have that rich discussion amongst each other as well within the classroom. I'm also looking at our chat and seeing people joining from lots of different places. So we have representation from Indonesia and Ghana, which is amazing, and some questions there. Lynn's picked up a few of those already, and so they have been covered to different extents within our chat, but just to make sure that we don't miss any, there was a question around whether Glasgow's environment is useful for the orange economy. So the orange economy being the sort of policy term around the creative industries that originates out of Colombia. But I guess we've touched on it a little bit, but certainly from my point of view on CICP, but I think, very much for media management as well, Glasgow is really the nexus of so much cultural infrastructure and media infrastructure within Scotland and the UK as well. So we have lots of institutions and organisations on our doorstep, as well as a really vibrant grassroots cultural scene. I know that you've all spoken about this a little bit, but I don't know if any of you want to jump in just to reflect on the creative sector or the media sector in Glasgow. Srimoy, you want to?
I know that the Creative Scotland's office is in Glasgow, and a lot of films have been shot in Glasgow. So there's a very famous Hollywood film, starting from Indiana Jones to Fast and Furious. So and there are a lot of art and media organizations that operate within Glasgow, and they have offices located within the city center. So I think Glasgow is a great place to, and it's a very booming space for orange economy, and has a lot of media and houses, starting from video game companies to production houses, and the Creative Scotland, like I mentioned, the office is here. And because it's a great visually, it's a great place to shoot films. A lot of films get shot in this country, and in Glasgow specifically.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think there's a big there's one of the large Marvel films is being filmed at the moment, I think, in Glasgow city centre. So there's been various film star sightings that have been quite exciting as well. Anka, were you going to jump in there? Sorry.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I wanted to add something. Our media management program offers, sessions with guest lecturers from BBC and Warner Bros. And Times and these big media companies. These practitioners, these professional people come to our class and they give us lecture, and we have lots of opportunities to engage with them. For example, I interviewed the editor at the Times. It was, very useful for me for my dissertation, for my work. Yeah. So our program offers so much opportunity to engage with these professional people. I had the chance to visit the Times office, and yeah, it was so interesting.
We've got a question here which may be a little bit, I don't know, I think we've probably covered it, but it's a very straightforward question around the idea of, does everyone have the opportunity to develop their own individual dissertation topic? So I think Maria gave that a resounding yes, but perhaps our students could tell us a little bit about how you go about doing that. It's all very well to say, well, you can do anything and, we'll support that. But it might be helpful to give a little insight, maybe one or two of you, of just how you chose the topic that you chose for this very important unit of work, which is, independent research. So I don't know who wants to jump into that. Anka, thank you.
Thank you. When I came here for the first time and I started studying, I did not have any idea of dissertation. I did not know what to do. But along the way, you will be given reading materials, research papers. You will read a lot. And from that, you will develop your own idea. Oh, wow, I didn't know this. Because, for example, I didn't know much about this paywall by editorial media companies. Oh, it's a very good way to diversify their revenue. We don't have it in Mongolia. Wow. And my interest started there. From there, I consulted with Lynn and other convenors, lecturers, and how to make it proper dissertation topic. And we discussed, and I worked on many assignments. Then I had a proper dissertation topic. It was a very good learning process.
Thank you, Anka.
Fantastic, thank you.
Maria, did you want to come in there?
Oh, sorry, yes, jump in, please.
Yeah, so I was just going to say also, more practically speaking, your research methods module is meant to basically guide you exactly through doing that. So initially, it's going to be more about how do I brainstorm my ideas, how do I narrow them down, how much narrowing is needed for a refined idea to form, and then slowly walk you through what can your research look like, what are the exact methods that you can use, how do you conduct your research, and then slowly, once you complete all of these essential steps, let's say, you will go through a process of actively, your assignments will be about shaping your topic and your proposal and passing through the ethics process in a way that's fully controlled by the course convener, so you're not going to have to stress about it yourself. And slowly but surely your topic will develop. I think my one advice is, like, initially it's very overwhelming and you're kind of like, I could do about this or about that, but I think it's a good balance between doing something you care about but also doing something doable. And the only way to do that is to just kind of like let yourself free, think about your ideas, even if later down you're gonna maybe like venture away from them, and just journal a lot on it from the beginning, and it's gonna come slowly.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for that insight. I'm now seeing even more kind of questions in the chat as well. So we'll try and cover as many as we can before the end of the session today, but also just to say, also feel free to contact us directly as well if you want to develop further your questions and conversations. Just a question there from Jayati, I think, from India. So it's really brilliant to have you joining us today around scope for working within the film sector, in different aspects of the film sector after completing the course, which is the CICP course that you've applied for. But I think a similar question, could be asked of media management as well. And certainly we are not vocational courses, we are academic courses, so grounded in sort of theory and research skills. But we also have many of our students go on to working within different industry sectors. And I think hopefully what you've picked up from the stories of our students that they're sharing here today is that you can tailor your degree experience to fit with the particular industry sector that you're most interested in. So, it would be very much possible to develop a particular project, dissertation project at the end of your master's program, which very much focused on that particular sector. I don't know if anyone wants to speak to that. I'm now seeing lots more questions coming in as well. So that was a kind of follow-up question from JT as well around different career roles around cultural policy. So I think, we've mentioned some of the different industry sectors that our students may go on to work in, but also within cultural policy terms, working within advocacy organisations, different creative and cultural agencies, working within local governments, central governments, are all different kinds of opportunities. And of course, in different areas, particularly around kind of the creative economy, but also around cultural infrastructure and institutions as well. So lots of different options there. But again, very welcome to develop those detailed conversations if you have those, or questions if you have them.
I'm seeing a question there from Kelvin asking if the course has an online option, and it doesn't. And I think our students will testify that one of the values, one of the strengths of the course is actually the sense of location within Glasgow as a city, and that we don't offer an online or distance version of the course. However, as you can see, Mark is back in his home nation for the dissertation period, and that might be relevant to students who wish to carry out field work back home, essentially during that dissertation period. But we don't have an online version of our master's programs. They're come here in person and take full advantage of being in Scotland.
And that hopefully answers Berekisu's question there around sort of international students and whether you're authorised to work on and off campus. So, certainly through the dissertation process, it may be that you wish to return to your home country or work from elsewhere, as that might be the focus of your research. So
that's interesting, Katherine. I hadn't interpreted that question as that. I had interpreted that question as, can you work part-time within the visa regulations? That's how I interpreted that question. I don't know if any of the students here have part-time jobs. You are permitted to do a certain amount of that. Some of that might also be related to your studies. Srimoyi, do you want to?
I had a part-time job, and I think different visas from different countries allow you to work. I think the average being 20 hours a week while you're a full-time student, and after that 40 hours a week. But I think it varies from country to country. And the university, like I said, the career opportunities page, they have a lot of part-time jobs listed. There are a lot of part-times and internships that are offered by the university and by companies associated by the university that you can partake, that I had participated in. So yeah, there are regulations, but I think you're allowed to do part-time jobs.
So obviously that would be dependent on your particular visa regulations, but that's good to know.
Sorry,
Lynn,
Mark.
I want to add something as well, that the students in University of Glasgow have an opportunity to be a content creator for the university media, such as Instagram. So some of Indonesians are currently working as a content creator of the university Instagram. So yeah, there's an opportunity.
Fantastic.
I think we're coming into the kind of closing kind of part of our panel today. It's been fabulous to be represented really so wonderfully well by our students and the international mix that they represent also. So we'll hopefully take in a couple more questions, but I think we could maybe close by getting our students to think about what has been the highlight for you during this kind of really precious time that you've had doing your masters.
I'll just jump in just before you do that, just with the last couple of questions that are in the chat, just to make sure that we've answered everyone's. And I think that there was a question from Selena. We've had and thank you so much for your questions today. I think they've been really thoughtful and useful questions. Selena had mentioned a question around preparing you for different aspects of the law, and certainly within both programs, intellectual property law is an important kind of component of that. And certainly you can take options on CICP within the law school around intellectual property law. So definitely, if that's an interest of yours, you'll be able to develop that. And then there was just another question around kind of that focus on the screen sector as well. It's been really great to see a lot of interest in film and the screen sector, and whether whether it can take you further in that career, and whether there is representation in terms of guest lectures and potential job opportunities within those. So I think it's just to reassure you that is definitely.
And indeed, some of the highlights that the students might talk about might be about those industry guests that we've had and connections that we've been able to make, because we're extremely fortunate on both programs to have weekly industry guests within the core courses, and we know consistently from student feedback that is considered an extremely valuable opportunity. So I think we can move on and to maybe speak about some of those highlights.
Those highlights. So I don't know, Srimoya, do you want to begin with your highlights? That would be fantastic.
Yes, I think Lynn, that is what I was thinking when you said highlights. I think one of the biggest highlights was learning from in person, from studio executives that we have grown watching. Like there was somebody from Warner Brothers who had come to teach us, somebody from ITV, BBC, Ofcom. While you were in media economics, there were executives from Universal who were teaching and who were talking about like how the industry works from the inside. Like these are insights you will not get through reading journal articles or anything. It's personal experiences while working in the industry. So that has been the highlight of the course. And also, I think for me personally, I live close by the Kelvin Grove Park, and I had to walk across the Kelvin Grove Park to reach the classes sometimes. And it's a great walk. So it did not feel like I'm going to class early in the morning, because there were squirrels playing and there were children playing, and it was a I mean, personally, going to class was a journey, and it was a beautiful journey in itself. So that is one of the highlights. And now that the classes are over and we are on dissertation phase, I kind of miss that. But yeah, it was one of the greatest highlights. Like going to class, crossing a park and a bridge in a river was beautiful.
Amazing. It's so wonderful to hear that. Maria, just turning to you, do you want to share your highlights as well?
Yeah, so for me, it's a mix of like what we said already, but also my professors. I've been really happy with my professors. They've been people from all sorts of backgrounds who were, I don't know, super established and engaging in their teaching, and that kind of extends to the class, because I think returning to university as a master's student has been a privilege, because everybody is kind of coming back with that experience, that focus of what they're interested in, that will to be there, and that leads to like really engaging conversations from people from so many different cultural backgrounds. It's really been like a privilege. Yeah, to the point that I went to all of my 9 a.m.s, imagine. And yeah, obviously the links and the field work, everything that we did around that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maria. Anka, do you want to come in with those final highlights from your point of view?
Yeah, I did learn a lot, and actually the courses are very carefully structured, so allowing you to manage your assignments and other stuff. So I would say that come to this top 100 university and make the most out of it, and enjoy this beautiful city, Glasgow. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And Mark, just a final word from your perspective as well.
Well, Katherine, time flies so fast, I think, and then it's coming to an end. But I'm so blessed to study in Glasgow. It's a beautiful campus, good facility, good library that can access so many books online and offline, so many study spaces, and surrounding by good museums. So make friends and enjoy Glasgow. That's all.
Fabulous. Well, what
Can I
better?
just add one more
Of course.
point? My friends from who study in London came here. Some Mongolian students came here, and we've been to James McCune Learning Hub, and they say, "Wow, this is just like a luxury mall, which we don't have, mall style learning hub," and they were kind of jealous, So in terms of infrastructure and learning environment, buildings, learning hub, we have, advantage. Yeah, I want to highlight that.
Srimoya, did you want to jump in?
I want to say that, I think the way all the courses are designed, other than the lectures, we have seminars where there are interactive sessions between other students, where after being taught a particular topic, we get to share our own perspectives, and that does give us, like what Maria said, we get to hear about the perspective of so many different cultures that the students here represent. So I got to learn so much about Chinese industries, Mongolian industries, industries within the UK and the US. So it does really broaden your scope and horizon about how the world at large operates within the culture and creative industries. And I think seminars were the one of the best and most eventful experiences of my teaching learning career in this university. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. I think we've run out of time for today, but what a brilliant discussion. It's been such a pleasure bringing you together and reflecting on these things. Thank you all for joining us as well with your incredible questions. If we haven't answered anything, if you want to discuss anything in more detail with us, please do get in touch. You can find us on social media as well, and we can share our emails so you can follow up individually if you have queries. I just want to give a big thank you to our students that have joined us today as well, because I think really you get that full experience from listening to them. So Thank you everyone for joining us. We're really looking forward to seeing you in September, and you know, this can be you next year going on this journey. So thank you so much.